So, good morning, everyone. Today is March 24th, 2023. It is 9:03 a.m. Eastern Time. You are joining us for the Wayland Housing Authority Board of Commissioners meeting. I am Susan Weinstein, your host. But I'm very pleased to be joined by Commissioners Mary Antes, Kevin Goodwin, and Marie Eisenberg, our staff people, Brian Boja and Lynn Poisson, and our Zoom meeting manager, and other Commissioner Russ Ashton is in the process of joining. And everybody who's here is already a panelist. So let me just run through the agenda. I don't know of any announcements, but we'll find out. We'll have public comment, time for public comment and time for tenant comment. We'll have time to talk with the Bent Park Resident Council if they're here. We'll review our minutes of February 24th. We'll review the bill warrant and debit card warrants for February 2023. We'll listen to Brian's report on operations, and then we'll move to maintenance and capital improvements. We will want to give a shout out to Mark Consigli, who is on the verge of retirement. And we'll discuss the upcoming vacancy on the Board of Commissioners. We'll have our affordable housing update. We'll review general correspondence. I'm not aware of any topics that had not been reasonably anticipated. We'll set the date of our next meeting, and then we will adjourn. Everybody good with that?
Yes.
Okie dokie.
Yes.
Is there any tenant comment or public comment? I see nobody in the attendees, and I've accounted for everyone here. So if anybody shows up, you can let us know. I also don't know that there's anybody here from the Bent Park Resident Council. I could say that I did receive some notice that they were frustrated with us for not approving their budget, and people had resigned, but my recollection is that we did approve their budget. We just asked that it add up to the right number, and we'll wait to hear from them. All right, minutes of February 24th.
Yes.
So Brian, at the top, when you say who's present and who's absent, could you spell out Kevin rather than just K? Yes, no, maybe.
Yeah.
Brian, you with us? No. Lynn's going to get his attention.
They're asking you a question. One moment.
Is he still working with Russ? All right. Do other people have edits? We can pass them along.
I do not. If you're ready for a motion, I move that they be approved as amended.
Can I offer another amendment, though?
Sure.
On number 11, I think it would be more accurate for us to say S. Weinstein reported the Historical Commission's interest in monitoring excavation at 12 Hammond Road, rather than just the progress of the new affordable unit. Does that meet with your...
Reported the interest?
Reported the Historical Commission's interest in monitoring excavation at 12 Hammond Road. Now I'll hear it.
Okay, a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Thank you. Is it? What's up, Marie?
Second.
Oh, thank you, Kevin. Marie, you good?
Where is it? Okay. All right, I'm good. Okay.
I mean, I was going to change in number 4, memorandums of agreements to memoranda of agreement. But that's just fussy.
All
All right. The motion is as amended. It's been seconded. Because we are remote, we will do a roll call vote. So here we are. Mary Antes?
Yes,
Russ is not with us yet.
He's working on it.
Okay. Kevin?
And these are on the board minutes, right?
That's correct.
Okay, yeah, yep.
Thank you. Marie?
Yes.
Okay. And I do too. So that makes it 4.
Yeah.
So it wins. All right. Moving on to the bill warrant. A pricey one this time. Wait,
Yeah.
why does it say January?
that was my question, and it's the same for another thing where it says January instead of February. All the bills are paid in February, so I think it's just
The cover sheet is wrong.
Yep.
You catch that, Brian?
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Living in the past.
Yeah.
Is the number right?
185,000.
Yeah.
Saw that
Typical.
for someone.
Yep.
So part of that is the payment in lieu of taxes.
Well, there are 3 items. There's a $40,000 thing on page, or two items on page 2. One at 40,000 for insurance and
Yeah.
33 for FSS.
Right. So that accounts for about 120.
115,000 is for those 3 items.
Okay.
So it's really not a big month.
Right. Okay, good. Whew. All right. Well, let's just start at the top. Anything on page 1? Page 2? On page 3? On page 4? A lot of pumping.
Oh, I just had a question on the power equipment. Was that for one generator or several generators, or what was that about?
One generator, CVA.
Okay. See, okay.
On page, whatever we're up to, 5? Yeah. How much are we paying for a Section 8 inspection?
We're paying about $60 an inspection,
Okay.
and we're doing them all annually. They're all coming up at once. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else on page 5? Page 6, we have a winner on the water usage.
Yes,
Yeah, it is. It's high. It's a 2-family. I don't know why
Even
it's so
so.
high. Yeah.
Even so. But my recollection is that we've investigated for leaks.
Right. They sent them a letter about water conservation. I don't know what, maybe I don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah. Doesn't help to speculate.
Right.
For the Bent Park water, one of those is the community building. Is that 12 or 10?
12.
So what's the story with 10? Was it vacant?
I think the meter is broken. And
Okay.
I asked them, they took a look at it last week and they have to replace the meter.
Okay.
And which is it's going to be an involved job because they have to redo the piping. So it's gonna be, there might be some excavation in order to do that.
Is that our dime?
We own everything from
The
the
wall
meter
in?
into the building. Yeah.
My meter's in the building.
Yeah, it's in the building, yeah, but I guess there's some undersized pipe that at some point in time, it was replaced maybe 20 years ago. And so I called it to their attention to say there's something wrong with that meter. So it took me a while to convince them that there was something wrong, but it needs to be replaced.
Okay. So we'll look for that. And you did send over the payment in lieu of taxes?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Because I told them it was coming in.
Thank you. Thanks for doing that.
And when I say them, I mean the select board.
Yeah.
All right. Since everybody seems to not have any more questions, is there a motion to approve the bill warrant for February in the amount of
I move
$185,704.05?
I
Move
so moved.
approval.
Okay, well, we'll go with Kevin for that one. Marie, do you second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All right, roll call vote. Mary Antes,
Yes.
Kevin Goodwin,
Yes.
Marie Eisenberg,
Yes.
Susan Weinstein is a yes. Okie dokie, let's do the debit card warrant. Sorry, motion carries. 342 and 42. How many bingo things at CVA do we need?
We bought one and they couldn't seem to make it work. So I ordered another. They're not very expensive. So we have to return the other one.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have questions or? All right. Is there a motion to approve the February 2023 bill warrant in the amount of $342.40?
Yep, I move to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
You got your choice on that one, Brian.
Kevin?
Kevin and Mary. Okay. Roll call vote. Mary Antes,
Yes.
Kevin Goodwin,
Yes.
Marie Eisenberg,
Yes.
and Susan is a yes. All right, Brian, over to you.
So the big news is that Mark is retiring. So he gave us 30-day notice, which is great, but it doesn't give us a lot of time to find somebody to replace him. So we started interviews last week. We've done all the advertising and all the papers that we need to do. We got a bunch of resumes, people far-flung places and all kinds of backgrounds, but there might be some possibilities. We'll see, but we're going to do a second round of interviews early next week. Hopefully somebody will knock our socks off.
Or at least seem sufficiently adequate.
Right.
If we don't get somebody lined up, in the next 4 days, I'm assuming that there are like contractors we can call in to take care of odd jobs.
Yeah. And Mark said he'd be available, and we'll see. In his letter, he said he'd be willing to come back part-time.
Yeah, I don't know if we could afford him.
The only thing I question on the executive director's report, how did my name get in the executive director's report? My slot isn't up yet.
No, but I don't remember, is it
Sure.
DHCD?
The waivers in his name.
Yeah, the DHCD had issued a waiver that we already had a tenant, the equivalent of a tenant seat. But then they designated, so that was, well, whatever, but they ended up designating the seat that you hold as the tenant seat for when it becomes available.
Oh, so in other words, I can still run.
When your term is up, you will not run. Do we have,
So I can't run again?
Appointment, isn't it?
should we write Kevin in for this year and then have somebody appointed for that?
It's not a bad idea.
Is Marie's name going to be on the ballot? She's still listed.
I don't think she never turned in papers, so I don't think it's
No,
going
and I
to be.
did talk to, yeah, I did talk to the clerk about that. She said, don't send anything back. So I assumed that meant she was going to take me off that list since I never made any moves, but I'm still there.
You stay on the list of people who took out papers, but you didn't qualify to be on the ballot.
Right.
Yeah. Because I think they have to keep track of the,
So it's Marie's seat that's up, not mine.
correct.
Okay.
But what,
All right.
but what we were just,
So what Brian has listed here is a misprint.
no. Oh, wait, I'm
Okay.
sorry. You're right. The waiver. Oh, right. The waiver is that we don't have to appoint somebody this year.
Okay.
Because we have the waiver for Kevin's slot. All right.
Well, I know this is on the agenda later, but well, let's talk about it later. Right. Seems like we're going the right direction with the tenant account receivables.
Yeah.
You know, on that bullet point, there's like, it looks like an extra T. I don't know if there's another word or something that belongs in there before 17. I didn't know if there was something that got dropped out or whether it's just an errant letter.
It's an errant letter.
Okay, all right,
The case of the extra T.
okay.
Thinking of golf.
Dun, dun. And just in case people don't read, there's a partnership between Framingham State and Framingham Public Library offering courses free of charge by Zoom in the winter, spring, and fall. So Maureen DeJong, Framingham State is going to be at 106 Main Street on April 11th at 1 p.m. and Bent Park on April 12th at 1 p.m. to describe the program, answer questions, and help with registration. So lifelong learning. We're fans.
Never ends.
I took one of the, I guess I've taken two of their courses now, and they're very good. And as it says, free. They tend to sort of bundle them, but you can take individual ones as well.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, good. So there's a recommendation. The cost comparative, I mean, we're very early in the year, so it doesn't have a whole lot of significance. On the schedule of extraordinary work, blah, blah, blah. Repairs to septic tanks. What does one do to a septic tank to repair it?
Yeah, we threw that in there because at Bed Park, some of the D boxes need to be replaced.
Okay. And this would be distribution?
Yes,
Okay,
distribution boxes. Yeah.
You know, for the support
Get
of
the
our
lingo.
listening audience.
I get-
And that's good that we have the community room and patio furniture there. New truck. Boilers. Okay. Section 8. It's like a minor. Oh no, yeah, okay, we're fine with that. FSS program, tenant account receivables. And I apologize. I took out all of the blank pages that were in my PDF. So I can't tell you page numbers because I took out 20 blank pages.
Oh,
So you're pleased with the tenant accounts receivable?
yes, yeah.
Good. We got people coming through on their repayments.
Yeah, it's always a work in progress. But Betsy's doing a good job, and Lynn and Catherine keep urging people to get caught up and
Yeah.
find other resources, help find other resources to help them pay for their arrearages.
Okay, there's this PH accounts payable role. Is there something that we should be paying attention to here?
Well, no, I think that just shows that these are the amounts that come out of, well, in the case of public housing, come out of the rent roll that get paid into a tenant's escrow account if they participate in the FSS program. In Section 8, that money comes out of the HAP payments. So the more successful we are in FSS, the more expensive the program becomes.
Is there any flexibility? I probably ask this every time. I apologize. Any flexibility about amount of time someone spends in the program, or a cap on what they can take out? Or, I mean,
Yeah, we sort of do it.
this?
We sort of do it on a case by case basis. If it gets to be a large amount, like the one we just paid out, we just say, I think when it gets to be a big amount, it doesn't make any sense. And if the person's not receiving, intensive services, there's no point just racking up a huge escrow account. So, but I don't think we can put a cap on it according to HUD. But we do, I think we reach a conclusion that somebody's not receiving services, but their escrow is growing exponentially, then it's probably time to declare them a success, graduate from the program, and pay them their escrow account.
And start getting rent.
Yeah.
It seems to me we should probably have a policy that articulates that. I'd be happy to.
Yeah, I think Catherine had been talking to her colleagues at different other FSS programs, and some of the escrow payouts are really large, so they don't even compare to what we're doing here. So I guess we're in the ballpark.
But we're not a huge authority.
Right.
All right. I mean,
if-
this program, we were very excited at the beginning, and it's just not doing what we had hoped.
Well, go back to the history. We were one of the first housing authorities to sign up for this in the early 90s. And the Section 8, the voucher was tied into your success in the FSS program. If you didn't graduate from the FSS program, you lost your voucher. Then, that get changed.
Yep.
And we saw this coming, and we sort of dropped out of the FSS business. And then HUD made us get back into it back in 09 or 10, whatever it was, when Catherine came on to revitalize the program. So we're trying to work, try and make it a reasonable program.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's there needs to be a bigger benefit than someone just getting a big payout of money that they didn't help to create.
Right. Yeah. And so, that the idea would be that they use it to become independent.
Right.
But that's not a requirement anymore for somebody to graduate and collect their escrow account.
And I understand that it's very difficult in a market like where we live and in a lot of other places in the US.
But it does help the individual with a sense of accomplishment and that sort of thing. So it's not, I know that the purpose is to become independent, but it still is helping the individual.
Well, don't you think then we need to just change the name of the program?
We could do that,
Because it's really not about self-sufficiency anymore.
right?
It's a legacy program.
Tenant betterment. All right. Yeah, it makes me sad that it doesn't do what we want it to do, and that it doesn't, really help people along in a big way, despite the fact that Catherine does an amazing job and helps people find career paths and, deal with whatever education issues they have. So all of that part is good. It's just, we wish that it had a better way to end.
Yeah.
I think for some people, it's hard for them to leave this area because in certain cases, they found a quality of life here that might be hard to match. So it's a hard choice to make.
I mean, ideally, they would have this payout and then they would be able to afford to live here. So,
Well,
ideally.
be quite a down payment.
And this was originally just Section 8, but then we expanded it.
Right. Well, there's public housing pieces called ROS, Resident Opportunity, something or another.
Self-sufficiency.
Self-sufficiency.
All right. Okie dokie. So I was looking at the vacancy ledger. Is that where everybody else is? Up to 4 already?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Section 8. HCV projection.
Yeah, we're okay there.
Yeah. It's not a concern that the restricted net assets line is going sharply down.
No, it's early. We'll see if HUD catches up
Okay.
with their payments.
Okay. In the thing that's the game board,
Yeah.
is the far right column the current year? If I'm all the way over, there are 3 columns, and I can't.
That's 2023. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I always find that confusing, but so
22 and 23.
we're expecting a decline.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything we need to know on the goods? No. All right, you guys ready to move to maintenance and capital improvements?
Yes.
Okay. How we doing on Bent Park? With the fire alarm devices?
Yeah. With their progress is slow. They're working in the apartments right now. And right now they're working in building 6. So they're about halfway through that phase. They'll be going to 8 and 10 next. So, hopefully in a month they'll be done. It's hard work because these guys have to go into the crawl spaces, and the guy they sent is like really tall, a big guy, and he's got to squeeze through the hatch in the closet and work. It's a tough condition. It's a good thing it's not summer because they'd be roasted up there.
Yeah, too bad we're not one of those states that's getting rid of child labor laws. We just, have a kid go up there and do it.
Not my kid.
That was said with sarcasm.
Pizza parlor.
just for the record. Somehow I don't see that happening on Maura Healy's watch.
No.
Um, we already have our budget expenditure proposal for capital funds, don't we?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So I have to have the selectmen sign off on the new capital award, the $338,000.
All right. Did you get it on there?
I have to get it on the inside calendar.
Well, let us know if you need somebody to go and,
Thank you.
what do they call it?
Usher it through. Yeah.
Shake the trees. We got Mark's resignation letter.
Yes.
We had a really nice party yesterday.
I was sorry I had to miss it.
It was well attended, and the best part was when residents got up to say something about Mark, and they had really nice things to say, and which was really nice, and they were going to miss him and all that. So I think Mark was moved. Yeah,
Good.
It was
Good.
a lovely event. Brian had nice food, but he was really sick. And so Catherine read his speech, which was a beautiful tribute, I thought. And as Brian said, residents got up and talked, and one of them said that she had delivered newspapers to Bent Park when she was in middle school, and she would ride her bike. The papers would be dropped off at Bent Park. She would ride her bike and leave it and deliver the papers. And when she would come back, the bike was gone and Mark had hidden it. Or she would get there and the papers were not there because Mark had hidden it. And she turned around and pointed a finger at him and said, "There's another side to Mark."
but Lynn has a caveat to that.
And later she sang a song about to Mark. So it was really nice.
Yeah.
And Brian did a good job. There was a plaque for him. They had a couple of pictures when they all had more hair. It was lovely, and I've asked Brian to if he would to send us his tribute, because I thought it was very nice.
Thanks.
Mark is going to, while he is still young, he is going to renovate a 4-family house that he has. And in order to do that, he felt he needed to resign. But I've said to Lynn and to Betsy, because they sent Brian home after the event, that we should be sure to invite Mark to come back for the holiday party.
Sure.
Yeah. And we get to meet Cooper, the dog, his dog.
Yes. A Jack Russell Terrier, 20 weeks old.
Beautiful.
Sweet. Well, thank you for that report. Brian, I'm sorry that you weren't feeling better to, enjoy yourself.
I'm better today, believe it or not.
Yeah. Well, the pretty low threshold, I guess. Well, thank you all for doing that, and certainly appreciate his tenure here and his leadership and his ability to make the tenants feel comfortable and respected.
Is that a motion?
And he
Is that a motion?
No.
No.
and Mark talked about what a nice staff it is, and how in the almost 40 years he and Brian have never had a fight. Never.
Well, I am.
It's because Brian's afraid of him.
Rose, yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's nice that he doesn't remember or that he doesn't talk about it. Never fisticuffs, we'll put it that way.
No.
But he did say there was mutual respect always, so
Yeah.
regardless, whatever.
Yeah, we've been fortunate and we'll miss him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
All
we
right.
will.
And you already updated us on the applications and work orders are okay. None for Brian.
No.
How you getting out of that business? Okay, so here's the capital fund program, and you're saying that needs to go to the select board?
Right.
Okay. Thank you for your letter, Marie, even though we are unhappy about it.
There's
Thank
still
you.
time to come back, Marie.
Well, if I can trust my health, I hope to someday.
We hope so.
So if all of us wrote you in, would you serve?
If you could take me like with a little bit of a broken wing, I suppose I could do it. Yeah,
All right,
it
good
just
to
happened.
know.
My timing is just so strange, actually. But anyway, let's leave it there for this moment. But
Okay.
you know, I would like to be back to the board someday. But we'll
We would
see.
love to have you. You've been an incredible asset. You do more than the homework, and
Yeah.
you really help us be a better board. So
Yeah,
if
thank
you're not on after the election, then we will miss you.
Okay.
And if we force you to be on, then we'll be glad to have you.
That'd be great. So right now, okay.
Okay, so we've talked about it during the report, but I said we could talk about it here now in case there was anybody who wanted to come in for it, but I don't think anybody has come. Oh, wait, who's,
Is Russ?
yeah. Look at that, I do have the authority.
Oh, good.
Russ,
Hey, Russ.
it's Russ Ashton.
Cool beans.
Let's see.
It's good to have you. All right.
Mike? Yeah.
What are we up to now? Affordable housing update.
Yeah, so monitoring the affordable home ownership units that we monitor. Talked to we had a really good conversation with Best Buddies about possibly doing a shared living facility. My sense is that St. Anne's isn't keen on doing a shared living facility, especially since they're an age restricted community. But you know, maybe 212 Main Street might be a possibility if there's some kind of a development there. Maybe if there's a mixed shared living and mixed affordable housing development. So I told Mike McCall that we're interested in that type of development to keep us in mind for the discussions going forward.
The memo on 212 Main Street, is there a sense of what the recommendation is? I just thought it was like going around.
Yeah, you know, everything from selling it off just to cash in, which I think, you know, we get, if we get the money, it's hard to spend the money. I'd rather have the site.
Yep.
So hopefully they would consider doing an affordable housing proposal that the town could put out an RFP, and shared living could be a part of that. So I think it's a possibility. I've talked to a lot of service providers who are reluctant to get involved, and I think it's because of staffing issues, and they are reluctant to take on new projects. But I was really encouraged by Best Buddies. I mean, I've seen they're like this international organization, but they were really helpful and really enthusiastic. So they don't have anything in the Boston area, and they like to link up with colleges. So we have Regis, Brandeis, Bentley, Babson, Wellesley, Framingham State. There's all colleges all around us here we could partner with to do this. So I was really encouraged by that conversation, and Catherine sat in with me, and my daughter Rachel did. She made the connection. So
Thank you, Rachel.
yeah, so she sat in too. So I will say, they sort of have a rough blueprint of how to move forward. So I might, we'll pursue that, see where it goes. But we have to nail down the site first.
Yep.
But I think that selectmen want to make sure that we have a program. So it's kind of, catch-22.
Chicken egg.
Yeah.
I don't understand what do they envision the role of colleges?
I think that what they do is they integrate jobs and mentoring and education. I think they like to see that. I'm a little fuzzy on the college connection, but there are other programs like in Georgetown and other places out there linked up with other colleges. But if that's their program, it's fine with me. That's what makes it work. But I don't really understand that aspect of it. But maybe it sounds good.
Okay. I mean, when I hear discussions that are about developing housing, even when it's not led by us, I hear about, shared living, although it tends to be called group homes. So I think that it's not just us
Right.
who's
Yeah.
been advocating for it.
Yeah. I've been talking to some of the parents of setting up a mother's group. So I'll see the mother's group on the select board.
Sounds reasonable. Anybody have anything?
I'm sorry about the phone call, but I can't mute and talk at the same time. The finance committee would like that property, 212 Cochituate, to be sold so that they can, put it into the budget. So I think we will have, we're going to have to really promote keeping the land because people want the money.
Yeah. And I guess there's some, when a town takes a tax title property, there might be some regulations on what's done with that property, and if it's sold, to put the money back into the taxpayer base, or
Yeah.
but I don't, I think we just push our agenda and let them, the finance committee, deal with the rest of that.
The other thing I wanted to say is that in the packet, it talks about Mill Creek, and I think it says 17 units. It should be 172 units. And
Same thing.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that number. Okay.
and if you watched the hearing, there everybody was talking about the flooding and bringing their pictures. So I'm sure the developers have looked into the flooding, but there wasn't as much about the traffic as there was about the flooding in the area. So
I mean, this solution is almost comical because they want to raise everything on stilts. When the site floods, they can ask the tenants to move their cars. It's really comical. I don't know if they're really serious about this, but if the town's willing to swallow this, why not put it out there?
I find it shocking that people were not aware that there is a flooding issue. Russ, what's up?
Unmute.
Give me a second. I got to unmute myself. I just did it.
Yeah.
First of all, sorry to be late. I've been having phone issues and technical issues right along, but somebody came along and waved the magic wand and I got on. But anyhow, yesterday, one of the things that was so dramatic for me yesterday is going, first of all, I went to Boston before I went to Mark's retirement. And this was a housing issue of Martha's Vineyard as far as getting affordable housing. And people are going so far away from affordable housing. It's incredible. And a lot of people are doing it for greed. And I'll give you a personal thing that's happening with that. My son, my daughter-in-law, and my son's mother-in-law are being evicted from their property, from their house that they've been renting for the past 7 years. And what the landlord did not give any reason for this. They haven't been delinquent on anything as far as rent or anything like that in all of that time. The other thing is that she just wants them out. She gave them 30 days to get out, but that was an agreement that they had in the beginning, a 30-day rental agreement. But the bottom line of it is that she has been so cruel about it. I got them a lawyer. The lawyer was able to get them to stay into the house until October 1st. Then they have to get out if they can find a place to go to. Is the important part. The worst part about it is both of their jobs that have time behind it are on the vineyard. The other thing is that they were paying $2,600 a month for rent. They were both working 2 jobs in order to support that amount of money for rent. But she agreed to let them stay there until October 1st, as I said before. But the rent has jumped from $2,600 to $3,400 per month in order so that they could stay there. This is part of the greed factor, and this is part of the atrocities of affordable housing, not only on the vineyard, but all over Massachusetts. The rally that I went to in Boston at the State House should have been a Massachusetts rally for affordable housing. And we need to stay on track of making sure that Wayland can promote affordable housing within our perimeters. But we have a big job ahead of us, and we need to join in with others to make sure we have affordable housing. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question about that. Russ, has the landlord been the same throughout their tenancy, or has there been a change in ownership of that property?
No, it
Has there been
hasn't. Same landlord.
Thank you.
Seizing opportunities, I guess.
Yes, indeed.
Not encouraging. Well, thank you. I'm sorry they're having that trouble.
Thank you.
Okay. The bill warrant for Hammond Road, $550. And it should be for February. Brian seems to be stuck in the past. At least you got the year right now. That was my flaw. Is there a motion to approve the septic pumping in the amount of $550?
So move.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All right, let's do a roll call vote then. Mary Antes,
Yes.
Russ Ashton.
Yes.
Awesome. Kevin Goodwin,
Yes.
Marie Eisenberg,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. Okay, so look at that. Anybody have any questions or comments on these balance sheets or whatever they are? Sorry, statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in net position. What's the thing with the Housing Stabilization Fund?
Oh, somebody wants to sell their home, that one? Yeah, somebody, my HSF homeowner wants to sell his house. I think he wants to sell it to his daughter, but I have to look at the deed. I think there's a way to transfer it to your heirs.
One would hope. All right. Okay. That's our letter with the wrong date in perpetuity. Anything more to be said about Mill Creek at this juncture? We already talked about 212. Got something with very small letters here. Oh, were these potential providers?
Right, just
Okay.
people I've contacted, reached out to the agencies for supportive housing.
Okay. You're working.
Yeah,
Thank you for doing all that.
yeah, no, I'm very interested.
The NARO report, anybody have anything? All right, you gave us what is this, an updated call directory?
Yes,
All right.
Thank you for that too.
good,
My other one is
The narrow,
multi-years old.
yeah.
Murray?
the narrow report, is that a proposed budget or is that, I don't understand.
It's a proposed
Exactly what-
budget, yeah.
Thank you.
And these are mostly for state housing programs.
Uh-huh.
How much how relevant is that to us as a federal program?
No, it's not relevant to the Wayland Housing Authority, but yeah, we try to be supportive of our fellow housing authorities and advocate for all public housing.
Right.
Good, nice.
All right, and then this article on landfill?
Yeah, Russ, you want to address that?
Okay, yeah.
Rose?
Now, Russ had submitted this.
Russ, unmute.
Russ? Have we lost him?
Maybe we can come back to it.
All right, Brian. Letter to Betsy Gavron, typo. Stew bread and dessert.
Yeah. Sorry. Did you get any feedback from her? Were they satisfied with the way it came across to the students who did this?
Well, they did this last year. We try to. It's a little bit haphazard. We don't get much notice that this. We get like the day before. They say we're coming with all this food, and
okay.
I said I tried to make it. They need to come and make it an intergenerational event, and so you can't, don't just dump food in the community room. But a lot of people came, but it could have been a nice event, and and it could have been a nice event for the students. But I guess transportation is a problem for middle school kids. But I would think that some of the parents who are involved in this would drive the kids over and sort of make serve our tenants and socialize with them and so forth. So
Couldn't
that
they
was my suggestion for next year.
Couldn't they walk?
That was
Walk.
the same thing.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Anything on Watts News that people want to flag? All right. Medicare. Anything else? Next meeting? We did lose Russ.
Yeah, can I ask about community work? I'm sorry. Can I ask about community work program? Is there any way to, we can either get advance notice or I don't know, some way so that we can protect some flower beds. I had one pretty much ripped up in the
Oh.
process. I'm gonna try to put it back in as soon as I feel like it. And
Oh,
but it
sorry
was a
about
little
that.
bit. Yeah, so I mean, I know if I knew, it's clear that I should put tape or string around whatever needs to be protected. But
Yeah,
I don't know, easy way for us to be able to coordinate it a little bit or something.
yeah.
But I'm just putting it out.
No,
No, that
I'm
makes
sorry
sense.
that happened. It's, they should be more
Okay.
sensitive to that. But, yeah, it doesn't, if you can tape off any areas, our guy should have told them to stay out of certain areas, but,
Well, it just happened. I'm just saying. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah.
That's okay. Thank you.
All right, do we want to plan the meeting as if we'll be able to meet remotely? And then if we can't, we'll change it.
Right.
Okay. April
But
28th.
I can do the 28th, but I did remind Susan, I don't know if Brian, you're aware of it, but I was at a teleconference last night and I was told that the emergency declaration for extension of
Remote meetings.
Zoom remote meetings has been extended for 2 years. So I don't know. Does somebody want to look into it?
Both houses have, both the House and the Senate have approved it, but they were, the last I heard was that they were working on the differences between the two. So I think
Okay.
it's almost assured that that's going to happen, but
Okay. Well, so let's put it on, people okay with the 28th
Yeah,
of
Yes.
April?
Yes.
you got it.
All right, let's do it at 9:00. And we'll Zoom it. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you.
second,
Thank you. Any discussion to be had? All right, Mary Antes,
yes.
Russ has dropped off. Kevin Goodwin.
Yes.
Oh, wait, sorry, Russ is over here again. Kevin Goodwin,
Yes.
thank you. Marie Eisenberg.
Yes.
A yes. Russ, we're voting to adjourn.
I agree as well. Sorry about that. There's something happening with my system. I went in and out, but I'm good for the 28th.
Okay, awesome. All right, and I'm a yes too. Brian, feel better. I hope
Thank you.
everybody has a great weekend and we'll
too.
see you